Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's time for player ratings after a 3-3 draw with Watford. And if I was giving these player ratings at half time, which I did on my Twitter, the numbers would have been very, very low, let me tell you, because the performance in the first half was horrendous. It picked up massively in the second half, which means there are some real high points to talk about. One of them was not, however, the performance of Simon Mignolet, for whom I've given a 6. And the only reason I've given a 6, which is a reason, take your thoughts on this actually in the comments, was time wasting. Now, I've slightly beefed him up because he was trying to time waste. Now, ultimately, we ran out of time because we drew and it doesn't work. But when you time waste and it works, great. Now, the thing is, he time wasted from a goal kick. He took it over to the side. I like that. I'm down with that. But then to get booked on the second time of time wasting, that's poor time wasting performance from Simon Mignolet. I've gone for the 6. I'll be honest, I had him at a 5. I could see a 5 just as easily for him as well because I thought his distribution was horrendous again today. That particular one where he just kicked it out down the left-hand side, and there's one where we had a counter-attack on and he rolled it out to no one and put us under pressure. So yeah, big question marks once again over the goalkeeping position. I'm going to go from the right back across. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm giving an 8 to. Now, I've gone sort of 7.5, but I've beefed him up because I really want to. I thought his performance was absolutely excellent, and he can hold his head up high from this performance. I was a bit worried about what was going to happen with him this season because he had an exceptional pre-season. I thought he looked really good and really promising. He looked so mature, but a lot of pressure gets heaped on shoulders when you see things like that, and all of a sudden people saying, well, he could be the first choice right back going on for the season. Still early doors in his career, very much so, but he was outstanding today. For a 19-year-old kid to be taking pretty much all of our set pieces as well and putting some fantastic deliveries, he was great. Matip and Lovren, on the other hand, were not. Matip in the first half in particular was absolutely dreadful. He's a good footballer, he's a very good footballer, and he is our best centre-half, and there will be far better days for Joel Matip in a Liverpool shirt than this. But his passing and distribution in the first half was terrible, and the decision-making when he was striding up the field, it didn't work. And again, Lovren, maybe people might be able to single out individual parts of the game where they thought he was terrible, whatever, but I just thought, by and large, the centre-backs didn't do enough to marshal, didn't look comfortable and didn't look commanding. So I've gone for a 5.5 for each of those. Moreno, on the other hand, on the left-hand side, now I've given him a 6.5. Now, that actually might be a little bit harsh. I think he was probably playing for the vast majority of the game at a 7 or 7.5, maybe. I thought he was good, and I think considering how low our expectations are of Alberto Moreno at this point, he impressed me. You can make a case, I think, for him being at fault for one of the goals. He's rash, he dives in to win the ball. I think that's one of those things that happens sometimes. I think sometimes you win those and sometimes you lose them. He's backed himself to do it. He hasn't done it. He's let them get in. Maybe we should be a little bit more on our toes or whatever. But I've gone for a 6.5. If you disagree, I would understand you giving him a higher rating, but not a lower rating, if that makes sense. Moving on to midfield, I've given Jordan Henderson a 6. Yeah, I've given him a 6. He was playing at a 5 in the first half for me. I thought he slightly improved in the second, but not much. We need to see more from him. His press was off. I think his timing on stuff was off, and it meant, and maybe this is just because of the players he's got around him, and we're not front foot pressing better in the absence of Lallana. His anticipation wasn't what I've seen it be. A couple of times where I thought he won it back really well, but other times where he's gone to close something down and they've just played a triangle around him, and that was a little bit of a concern. I think that helped to contribute towards the centre-half not having a great game either. Gini Wijnaldum, I've given him a 4. I thought he was absolutely abysmal today. I thought, you look at opportunities again, much like the start of last year, saying you're getting into decent positions, Gini, you've got to do more. He's got a chance to shoot from the edge of the box. You can miss it, them, of course you can. Most of us would probably do exactly what he did or worse in that situation. But in a game where I think he needed a big moment to really drag his game up, and then ultimately his inability to head the ball clear from the corner in the last couple of minutes is what puts Liverpool under pressure, and I would put that as the contributing factor for the points dropped ultimately, because anything else, that header goes anywhere else but where it does, we get away with that, and I think we live to see the 3 points. As it is, Gini 4, terrible, and that was probably his worst performance in Liverpool shirt. Again, much better to come from him, I think, this season, but poor. Emre Can of the 3, I think, was the best. I've gone for a 6. Actually, I went for a 7 for Emre Can. I thought by and large he was decent. There was one particular moment where he pulls the ball out of the sky on the left-hand side and charges down the left flank and wins the free kick. I think he was important in how we upped our game, we upped our tempo in the second half. Again, I don't think he was great in the first, but I thought he was improved in the second. Getting onto the front three then, Sadio Mane, I've gone for an 8. Roberto Firmino, I've gone for an 8. And Mohamed Salah, I've gone for an 8 as well. I think of the best of the three of them, just because of the goal that he scored, Sadio Mane, you could maybe consider bumping up to maybe an 8.5. But in terms of goals and assists, you know, all three guys get on the score sheet. Firmino and Salah getting assists as well. I mean, technically Salah winning the penalty, but I thought they were good, and I thought they struggled to get into the game in the first half because there wasn't enough coming from these guys to support them. But it was almost as though they kind of decided that, and with help from the fullbacks as well, they took the game by the scruff of the neck. Bobby Firmino in particular was really, really poor first half. But again, in the second half, in fact, I had him in the first half as a 5 and finishing the game on an 8. Similarly for Salah, I thought he had a 5 in the first half, but finishes on an 8. And we can see that even without genuine creative players in behind them, these guys are going to be able to score goals, which I think bodes well for the depth of the squad in that regard. Although maybe you could argue we do need more in the midfield and clearly maybe a better centre-half as well. So from the substitutes, Gomez, Origi and Milner, I thought they were all the wrong substitutions, but that's not my choice to, it's not my job to rate them here for that. It's to rate them on individual performances, and I've gone for 5s across the board because I don't think really any of them had the impact. I think Origi had the most. I was looking for something from him, given that Kabul was obviously struggling with an injury and what have you. And it's not his fault he didn't get the service. It wasn't, the game didn't suit him ultimately, so we didn't get into it. And I think making the Milner and Gomez substitutions actually probably destabilised us a little bit, and you could argue, contribute to us not getting this game across the line ultimately. When I look at it, I'd have maybe thought that there was a case for a Dom Solanke, or I could see a case for a Grujic just to be a bit more physical and just maybe look to defend from the front, hold the ball up, bully their defence a little bit more. Ultimately, we chose to try and get Gomez on to defend, and look, it didn't work. So ultimately, disappointment. But let me know your player ratings in the comments below. Put the player name, list it alongside. And if you disagree, like I say, it's not just about you can say, I'm completely wrong or whatever. I want to know your thoughts, I want to know your reasons, and I want to see your player ratings in the comments below so that I can go in and I can judge you guys as well. Chris is outside Anfield. He'll be doing some post-match content as well. Check out the match reaction, check out the Twitter reactions, and if you want an instant match reaction this evening, analysis from Chris, who's with Chris Williams, who's the Bundesliga expert, will be on the redmentv.com. Get over there. Other than that, hold your horses, and the final word will be out on Monday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Chins up. Multiple chins in my case. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra.